So at this point in the story, I started to get a bit annoyed. Because suddenly the story is about a man by himself going to do some kind of heroic thing in another place in the world, to try and fix something that would mean life for everyone on the planet. And I felt like this story has been told so many times. And I was thinking, fuck dystopia. I want to get beyond the polarity. I want to abolish the oppressor. I want to abolish the narrative of struggle. And I want to kind of create a story that doesn't need this kind of like one against the other, getting off of something like, Jesus Christ, is this what we have become in 2020? Storytellers of struggle? Come on, people. So I want to ask you to contemplate the notion that science fiction and all other fictions and stories, in essence, in a way, in whatever way you can imagine, stories update and upload information to an invisible field that influences the potentiality of human development. Can we contemplate that? That stories update and upload information to a kind of field of probabilities that influences the potentiality of human development. Rupert Sheldrake is a scientist who popularized the morphogenetic... Oh, I thought I felt my boob on the floor, but it's not. It's still here. Oh, it's here? Oh, it is here. It's my shoulder boob. I'll put it here. Okay. Rupert Sheldrake, a scientist who popularized the morphogenetic field theory, states that individual species, like humans or dogs or ants, are connected by an invisible information bridge, one which updates or downgrades members of this group as it is shaped. In essence, you could say that our imaginations and our expressions, our art and music, influences reality. Maybe it even creates reality? So people who sculpt, film, or story, do you think they tap into a kind of collective unconsciousness, subconsciousness, and kind of shape and download and call into existence the different versions of our future? Entire worlds awaiting to be rekindled by the breath of man, by the breath of stories, by the breath of beings. Unfortunately, the story braiders and entertainment crafters aren't often inclined to develop narratives of peaceful coexistence. Moreover, violence and war seems to be what sells. It is as if the stories we produce influence what we collectively believe to be possible. It seems that what we put our attention towards exceedingly manifests. Ursula Le Guin, when she reflects on the hero's journey, says that there seems to be a need for long, hard objects, for sticking and bashing and killing. Apparently, a story isn't interesting when it takes place within a world of peace, where there is no intense violence or shock that occurs or has to take the main stage, where the focus isn't on the Heraclean hero. So the focus isn't on Hercules, but on the domestic and natural world that enables him to do any deed in the first place. Yes, we relate to struggle, but can we learn to relate to bliss? For the stories that we tell and are told write themselves like lines of ink into our imaginations and into our bloodstreams, forming a consensus or communally created reality. Genesis P. Orridge, this beautiful being who passed away this year, they call this principle an amalgamation of approximate recordings from flawed biomachines. Some argue that nature itself also co-creates in the reality building with us, suggesting that Earth and humans and other species all have a say in the story. So I, as an artist and writer and storytelling, have been very eager to explore the way narratives of peace and collaboration can become as enthralling and addictive as dramatic and violent ones. Just think about it. Making a story with struggle is easy. Writing about problems to overcome is easy. We have enough problems. But writing about what we want to create, essentially, writing about a world at peace, how would such a story go? How does such a story not get boring? Can we contemplate that? Can we think about that when we go home later? For let me ask you, how meaningful is your bliss? The magic of the matrix of the everyday, where there is time enough to gather plenty of wild oats and sow them too and sing, says Ursula Le Guin. So my question is, again, how to make peaceful coexistence compelling? How to write characters that are spiritual, sexual, political, and compassionate, living in a world where everyone spends time unraveling the subtle, delicate, intimate universes within and around them, to make peace the breaking news. Can we do that? For if we are world building, what world are we building?